One of the most common questions that I get is, what is the true cost of living in Dublin, Ohio? So today we're gonna be doing our video from a bridge that connects Bridge Park, which is right behind me, and Old Dublin. And we're gonna talk about what it costs for housing, utilities, transportation, and even food while living in Dublin, Ohio. So buckle up and I'll see you soon. What's up everybody? This is Brad Winter and I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Columbus, Ohio. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know what it's like to work, eat, live, play, and what the cost of living is in Dublin, Ohio, make sure you tap that subscribe button and click on that bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. Honestly guys, I get so many phone calls, text messages, emails, Instagram DMs every single day from people that are relocating or moving to Columbus, Ohio, and I absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving or relocating to Columbus, Ohio, you have to reach out to me. Give me a call, send me a text, shoot me an email, hit me up on Instagram. However you feel comfortable doing so, do it, because I'm gonna have your back when relocating here. What's up everybody? I'm standing on the bridge at Bridge Park, which is located right behind me. This is an area in Dublin that has recently been built up over the last few years. You're gonna find all sorts of restaurants and shops and bars, not to mention some really nice apartments and condos over there. This has really become a really popular area in the Dublin region as well as Columbus. On the other side of the bridge, we have Old Dublin, which has seen a huge revival with restaurants such as the Pearl and the Avenue coming here, as well as the new library and tons of other living spaces with condos or apartments. So with all of that comes cost. Let's talk about housing and the cost difference between living in Columbus and living out here in Dublin. So just to give you an idea, houses out here are going to be more expensive than they are in Columbus. How much more expensive? Well, here's some stats for you. The median home price in Columbus is $157,000. That is compared to $397 in Dublin, Ohio. So you are making a large jump from living in Columbus to moving out here to Dublin. So why is there such a jump? Well, you have actually 16 or 17 elementary schools, I forget the exact number, 5 middle schools, 3 different high schools to choose from. So that's gonna kind of play into why the cost of housing is so high compared to the Columbus area. You also have an area like this. You know, we're at Bridge Park right now. Right behind me is an area that has been built up over the last few years. That's gonna have a ton of restaurants, new shops, new bars, a ton of new condos and apartments for people to live. And right across this bridge is Old Dublin, and that area has been completely revived with restaurants such as the Pearl, the Avenue. You've got No Soliciting Bar, which is a cool kind of private club to be a part of. So you have all these new things that have been built up in the Dublin area, not to mention the great schools, the great parks that they have. So that all contributes to why the housing cost is exponentially higher than living in Columbus. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for a home. You know, you gotta look at the price, but you gotta look at what you're getting for that as well. And in Dublin, you're gonna get a ton of things. All right, let's talk about transportation in Columbus compared to Dublin. So if we look at things on a national average, we're gonna take the average as 100. So Columbus, the cost of transportation is 90. So it's well below the national average. And I think why that is we really don't have a huge transportation system. As far as, you know, we don't have a subway, we don't have a train that runs through the downtown area. We do have a bus system, but a lot of people that live down in Columbus and the surrounding neighborhoods, they're doing a lot of walking, biking, you know, getting on the electric carts and rolling around. So, you know, the transportation cost is definitely less, and you can see it's less than what the national average is. Dublin, same thing. You know, if it's at 100, which is the national average, Dublin's gonna be at 93. So it's less than the national average, but it is slightly higher than living in Columbus. And that's just due to the fact that you're gonna have to drive a lot more in Dublin. There's not a ton of walkable areas except really for the Bridge Park, downtown Old Dublin area. So that kind of takes into effect why the transportation cost is slightly higher than the Columbus region. Let's talk about utilities. Now, utilities probably isn't something that is a big deal to a lot of people, but it does matter when you're thinking about areas that you want to live or your overall cost to have a home. So again, we're talking about 100 being the national average. Columbus is at 102. So we're a little bit higher than the national average. And really what that comes down to is if you're going to be living in the Columbus area, or, you know, maybe Columbus proper, you're going to be probably living in an older home. So those older homes have old HVAC or, you know, air conditioning units, or maybe they're just inefficient in the way that they distribute the air or heat. So that's probably why the utility average is a little bit higher than what the national average is. And if you compare that to Dublin, Dublin's at 98. So we're just below the national average. And that really has to come down to these houses out here. A lot of them are, you know, 20 years old or less. And we have a ton of new builds out here. So they're gonna have the most kind of modern, efficient systems when it comes to your heating and cooling than what areas of Columbus are gonna have. So again, when just thinking about the overall cost, Dublin's gonna be a little bit less with your utilities than what Columbus is gonna have. All right, one thing I love to talk about is food. So let's talk about what the cost of just buying groceries or going out to eat in Dublin is gonna be compared to Columbus. So again, guys, we're talking about a national average. The scale is 100. Living in Columbus is gonna be 98, right? Your cost of food is gonna be a little bit below the national average. However, when you compare it to Dublin, Dublin's at 105. So Dublin is higher than the national average. It's also higher than the Columbus region. Why is that? You know, when you're living in Columbus, you have a whole host of different grocery stores and, you know, restaurants to choose from. And depending on where you're living, you know, some of them can be expensive, some of them can be less expensive. So it really just depends. And when you go out to Dublin, your choices are a little bit less than what they are in Columbus. So you're only gonna have a few different, you know, grocery stores to choose from. You're gonna have higher end grocery stores like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or other organic, healthier options. And your restaurants are gonna be few and far between. And in those restaurants, they're probably gonna be a little bit more higher dollar than what the average restaurant is in Columbus. So another thing to consider when you're moving out to Dublin is just the overall cost of food. All right, guys, so those were just a few things to help you get an idea of what the cost of living in Dublin, Ohio is gonna be compared to living in Columbus. I hope it was helpful. If you wanna learn more about what it's like to live in Dublin, Ohio, or what it's like to live in Columbus, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on that bell so you guys get notified every time I do a new video. And again, guys, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave those below. Be more than happy to answer any of those questions, or if you have video suggestions, leave those remarks as well. Also, if you guys are thinking about moving or relocating here, you have to get a hold of me. Call me at the number below, send me a text message, shoot me a DM. However you feel comfortable doing it, do so, because I'm gonna have your back when moving to Columbus, Ohio. Until next time, guys.